Hey everybody, Damon Comerio with Comerio Homes. I want to take a second and talk about hot water heaters. Alright, so we're down here in the basement of one of our houses and we're going to talk about our water heaters. This is actually a gas 50-gallon water heater that we put in most of our homes. So talk about some of the components and features real quick, kind of giving you an overview of what we got going on here. So this big gray pipe here is actually our exhaust vent, our exhaust flue. So the gases of this being, the gas that's being burned, the fumes come out of this pipe up here and then exhaust out through the venting through the roof. And we actually have our inlet water lines here. We have our hot line that goes to the house and our cold line that's coming in. So cold water is coming in, or fresh water is coming in from the home through this pipe, and then it's turning into hot water down in here, and then it goes back out, and that's what services the hot line to all your faucets and the showers in the homes. This is actually an expansion tank that's up here that relieves pressure on the system. We have an on-off valve. We've talked about those in other videos. It's simply just a lever valve that we can turn the water on and off to get water to keep from coming into the actual system here if we needed to drain it. This component here is called a pop-off valve, and so these things have a regulator valve in here that when it reaches, if this had a malfunction and it started to get too hot and build up too much pressure, it's actually going to flip this valve and dispense that water out this drain onto the floor where the floor drains at here to keep it from having any type of explosion or something. Then down here we actually have our ignition components and our controller, and our gas line is this yellow line running in here to this point. We have our gas shut-off, so this is the shut-off valve to turn the gas off to this actual appliance. And then down here we actually have a spigot valve to where if we needed to drain this, we could turn all this water off and then we can open this up and drain this out. But you got to understand there's hot water going to come out of this, so it could burn you. So make sure that you've given it time to cool down, shut the system off before you ever were to drain it. Just follow the instruction manual if you're ever going to do anything like that. All right, so we're going to talk real quick about how to actually light your gas furnace. So there's actually lighting instructions here that are labeled on the side of the furnace, and here's your control module. Basically, this is what you're going to use to light it. So we basically have our switch here that's the igniter. You push in, okay, you can hear that click. And then we have our control valve. So we have the positions we have are off, pilot, vacation, low, hot, A, B, C, and very hot. Now we have gas going to this, and here's our gas shutoff valve. So first we want to make sure that there's actually the gas is turned on. So the valve should be in line with the gas line, meaning it's on. Now gas only pumps at about 5 or 6 pounds per square feet, so it doesn't come out like the movies where it's just gushing out and houses blow up, that type of stuff. It's very slow. And so, and low pressure, and so we have to give it some time to let the gas build up through this line into here, which it does talk about on the instructions. And so once we know that's happening, we're going to turn this to off, or we're going to turn this over to pilot, and you're going to push the pilot, this button in to pilot, then you're going to click this button in until we see this start to blink. And there's instructions on here that tell us how many blinks per second it means as far as the functions of the actual unit. So we're going to push this in, and we're going to keep clicking this until we see this status light start to blink, telling us that it's functioning. So I just saw a blink there, and it says here, 1 blink every 3 seconds means that it's working properly. So I'm going to let go of this pilot light, and I'm now going to turn it to the setting that I want it to be on. And if I turn it up high enough, you're probably going to hear it kick on here in a second, because now it's got to heat the water up. So let's turn that over here to temperature A so we can get it to kick on. So if you heard it kick on there, now it's actually functioning and the pilot light's lit, the flames are going, it's going to heat the water up. So basically, if you're going to go on vacation so you don't waste gas, you can basically turn this valve down to the vacation setting, and it's not going to keep this tank full of hot water all the time, so that you can save energy. And if you don't like really hot water for your showers, you can turn it to low, you can turn it to hot, and then you have gauges here for, it talks about the heat amount for A, B, and C, or you have very hot. So we tend to keep it around A and B, just for general operation, but here in a home that's for sale, just to save energy, we just keep it down on low or vacation. That way we're not wasting energy. So this is a simple way to turn on and off a water heater.